My name is Binti Yard. I was a cultural leader with Black Cultural Archives. I applied to become a cultural leader because the job literally seemed like my dream job. I wanted to be a part of Black Cultural Archives in some capacity, and I just didn't know how to get through the door. It's such a special place, it's such a special community. When I was a cultural leader, I genuinely looked forward to going to work, which I think is the first time I've ever experienced that.
My name is Kwame Reed, and I was a cultural leader with the Black Cultural Archives. I became a cultural leader because I realized how much guidance I needed when I was younger. It was inspiring that I came across a position where I would be able to provide that guidance that I was missing so much. I've definitely had my obstacles with mental health, but I guess finding out about places like Poetic Unity, where you're able to meet a lot of people who are going through the same thing, it's always reassuring. And that was definitely something that helped me along the way, especially being able to come and do poetry, which is like my own type of therapy.
And I used to say this all the time, but I would come into work sometimes feeling really drained or just not feeling my best, and I would always leave re-energized.
Some of the qualities I've acquired through being a culture leader, I've definitely become a much better communicator, and I've learned to read the room more, because a lot of people come through our doors to have an emotional offload without them even realizing it. So being able to observe, make sure people are in the right space to have certain conversations, that's helped me a lot. I've definitely become a better decision maker because, there's planning that goes into all of the workshops we do. And sometimes things can just happen last minute, and you might have to decide how to lead the rest of a workshop without any plan. So definitely it's helped me become more assertive and more able to just make decisions when I need to.
I think a lot has changed about just my sense of self. I think that my confidence now is more rooted in, it's more pure, if that makes sense. I've seen the community that I'm a part of, and if a community is a reflection of even just a part of me, then I have a right to be confident in myself because I'm so blessed and grateful to be part of the community that PU has catered or facilitated. Yeah, a lot of the things that I learned with PU are definitely gonna carry me through life. I don't even think it's necessarily applicable to a job. It's just life skills,
A big challenge for me being a cultural leader was learning to trust in myself as a leader. I guess forgiving past mistakes I had made. It's big weight on your shoulders. The title culture leader means that you're influential to many people. So it was learning to overcome me being so critical of myself and learning to trust in myself.
Because being a cultural leader is a giving role, and you're constantly working with people in the community, and it's such a blessed thing to be able to do. But then on the flip side of that, you don't realize on the face of it how draining it can be and how you really have to take time to kind of re-energize yourself or just nurture yourself outside of spaces, especially when we're doing work that's quite sensitive. And we do facilitate safe spaces so people feel like they can talk about really serious things with us. The community and all of the other cultural leaders, we were a little family. So it was never a feeling of you're in this alone and you can't speak to anyone. And I think that that's something that made it a lot easier. Being able to do the school workshops was also really interesting. It was a highlight in that it allowed me to kind of do something that I've never done before, which was work with kids in that capacity. As much as it was a bit challenging because teaching young boys about misogyny is not easy. It was definitely a highlight in what I gained from it.
One of my biggest highlights about being a culture leader was definitely being able to lead the communion workshop. It's not often that you find spaces where you get to sit down with people similar to your age and talk about things that really matter.
Well, now that my role as a cultural leader has come to an end, I am now a lawyer. I'm an intellectual property lawyer currently. And to be fair, that was kind of always the plan, but Poetic Unity and working as a cultural leader allowed me to kind of catapult my creative side of my career. So I'm doing a lot of work in poetry. I'm being published this month. I have 2 performances next week. I'm performing at the Black British Book Festival. And then just on top of that, I'm in a place where I feel like my work is appreciated and is received. So I'm just more encouraged to kind of create, and a lot of opportunities are stemming from that.
I guess the position has helped me realize like you can enjoy whatever you do to make money, because a lot of people in my position as creatives, they kind of follow this, I guess, struggling artist narrative where they always like, yeah, I had to do something that was unbearable whilst I was trying to be a creative. And I always said like, you know, I don't think it has to be like that. Being a culture leader was amazing for me, and if like, say I wasn't able to be creative, I would be happy doing something like this for the rest of my life. I think that the Culture Leaders Youth Employment Scheme is amazing because it definitely makes leaders as you go through the process to see the way it changes people's confidence, and they can then go out into their life and use that in so many avenues of their life, not just employment.
It's the greatest employment scheme I've ever come across. It's a community, it's a fulfilling role, and it's a role that goes on past the 6 months. Like if you're in it to be in it, like you're gonna see that you're part of the Poetic Unity family for years to come.